Hey, I'm back. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the great world-famous Mike Davis Show, St. Augustine this evening. I have some extraordinary guests in studio. Very, very excited to dive in and talk all about the wonderful world of St. Johns County Center for the Arts. Before we get into that great discussion, they've got a very exciting show coming up. And I also want to talk about the theater itself and how we can rally as a community around this incredible center. But we got to get paid first. So let's celebrate some booze. Just got this message from the great Nicole Nettles over at Blue Water Jewelers. Sparkle and sweeten your love story. Indulge in romance with Blue Water Jewelers and Creme de la Coco. Y'all, if you have not had Creme de la Coco, run, don't walk. It's incredible. This Valentine's Day, elevate your love game with Blue Water Jewelers, where every gem tells a story as sweet as chocolate. They have a sweet deal alert. If you purchase anything for $149 or more, you'll receive a box of decadent truffles from Creme de la Coco. How sweet is that? I mean, you're getting jewelry and you're getting a little bit something extra. So why choose between diamonds and chocolates when you can have both? Explore their stunning collection of jewelry that will make your heart skip a beat. They've got unique designs, sweet surprises, and gifts for every budget. From elegant necklaces to charming bracelets, find the perfect expression of your love within your budget. Plus, they have the added treat of these truffles, which makes it even sweeter. This is a limited time offer, so check them out for Valentine's Day. Visit Blue Water Jewelers, 500 Anastasia Boulevard. Super excited for them, and I know this is a great season, and they've got a lot of fun things to offer everybody out there. There's something for everybody in that store. That's why I love it. Also, A to Z offers free estimates, and they've been serving St. Johns County for over 20 years in the construction industry. A to Z offers painted metal roofs for saltwater area homes with warranties for up to 25 years. A to Z offers shingle roofs with warranties for up to 50 years. They also install tile roofing, cedar, shake, shingles, nailed it, designer roofing, and flat roof coverings. They have recent job photos and material descriptions. They can all be seen at A to Z Roofing and Waterproofing.com. And I would be remiss if I did not mention South State Bank. The team at South State Bank is a group of bankers you can count on. Their approach to building long-term relationships with their customers is the best in the business. If you're looking for a banking relationship you can depend on, check out South State Bank. They've got 3 locations to serve you, which is on State Road 312, State Road 16, and the beach, of course. Visit their website, southstatebank.com, member FDIC. All right, now we got the business out of the way. Let's get on to the fun stuff. We've got the world-famous director of the stars, Mr. Romeo, in studio. How you doing, buddy?
Hello.
I'm so excited to see you.
It's so good to see you again. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
I know.
I mean, you had that epic interview about Newsies, and I heard you guys got some major awards from that, right?
We did. We got nominated for 40 Applause Awards, which are the Central Florida High School Musical Theatre Awards.
Whoa, 40?
Yeah, we got nominated for 40 awards.
Wait a minute, like Taylor Swift only gets 9 nominated for 9 Grammys. You guys got 40? That's incredible.
Nominations. Yeah, really
Awesome.
proud of all those students. They did a great job.
So, before we jump into the interview, talk to us a little bit about St. Johns County Center for the Arts and like what it's all about and how can our community step in?
Absolutely. So, St. Johns County Center for the Arts is the Performing and Visual Arts Academy for St. Johns County School District, and it is housed at St. Augustine High School. Go Jackets!
Hey, love it.
And it is an audition-only program where incoming freshmen and incoming sophomores are able to audition in any of the performing arts pathways as well as the visual arts.
Oh, cool.
To come from any high school in the county to come to us. So all of the top artists in the county can be together and create together in one space.
Now, I was told today that this was one of the very first academies in St. Johns County School District.
It was. Mr. Jeffrey Farmer Dodd. We all love Jeff Dodd. He worked diligently to make sure that this happened so that our students would have a place to really prepare for a career in the arts or for a college degree.
Now, Mr. Dodd left a legacy, but I will say that you absolutely put your stamp and your signature on all of the performing arts over there. Like, really have taken us to different heights, different levels, and different shows that I never thought that we could. I didn't even know that the Dream on Royal Street, which we'll talk about today, even existed. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's not that well known of a show, and I know we'll get to it in a little bit. But
how do you stumble upon some of these shows?
Well, the Dream on Royal Street. First of all, I just love musical theater, so I love just jumping into it, musical theater history, all that stuff. And I actually had a teacher when I was at college at Penn State recommend a song from this show for me to sing for auditions.
Really?
Yes, which one of our guests actually sings in the show. Which is
that's
exciting.
awesome.
And I just kind of got a little bug in my ear for it.
Okay.
And so this year we decided, there's been a lot going on across the state, and we wanted to make sure that the work that we were doing is going to be great for everybody who wants to come see a show.
Right.
So we chose the Magic of Alan Menken as our theme for this year. So Newsies was written by Alan Menken.
Oh, wow.
The Dream on Royal Street is not very well known, but written by him. We're doing Descendants later on in the year, which has a lot of his music. And, he's well known for Little Shop of Horrors and Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Little Mermaid, a lot of those big Disney classics.
Is it hard to pick things for students? Because, sometimes, shows can be controversial. So how do you weed out and make sure that it's appropriate for them?
It's difficult because we want to make sure that it is something that's appropriate for a high school audience, but it's also appropriate for the community at large who wants to come see it, as well as challenging the students to get ready for that college. That college that's going to be coming around the corner. So we need to make sure that we're pushing the boundaries a little bit, but not too much.
But you talked about in your mission statement, it says pre-professional program.
Correct.
So can you talk a little bit about that? Like what kind of pre-professionalism do they learn?
Absolutely. So we really try to make sure that we're setting them up for the way the real world's going to work outside of high school, whether they decide to go to college for the arts or not. So for example, I know in our rehearsals for the musicals, we follow the Actors Equity Association rules, which is the professional union of actors.
Absolutely.
They are actually over all of the Disney World performers, which a lot of people don't realize. They are union performers. They're the largest single employer of union actors in the country, Walt Disney World. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's interesting. And we follow all of those rules. So for breaks, every 55 minutes, they get a 5-minute break. Every 80 minutes, they'll get a 10-minute break. We try to make sure that we're giving them enough time for meal breaks and all of that stuff. So we're giving them the structure of what things are going to look like moving forward. We also want to prep them for the next step. Keegan McGee, some of you might have seen when we were here talking about Children of Eden. She was our guest. She's actually in Chicago right now auditioning for a large amount of musical theater schools, including Carnegie Mellon, which is the number one musical theater school in the country. She made it through their first round of calls, so we're really excited for her.
How amazing is that? Oh, I love that story. Now, you talk about commitment and self-discipline. You really have to bring your A game to an academy like this.
Yes.
Talk about the commitment and talk about the self-discipline.
These students are extremely committed. Not only are they working really hard in class to learn the technique, and it's not just can they sing, can they dance, can they act. It's the history behind it. They need to write papers about shows. They need to analyze material. I know Ms. T, in the ACE class, they do a lot of devised scenes and devised work.
Ooh.
And on top of that, we stay after school 3 to 4 hours a day, every day after school. On Saturdays, we're there for almost 8 to 9 hours between set builds and extra rehearsals. It is a big commitment, and not just for the students, it's also a big commitment for all of the parents. So I want to thank any of the parents that are watching now too, because I know all that you have to sacrifice so that your kids can shine, and it really does mean a lot for us at the school.
That's incredible. And how do you collaborate with the community, and what can they do to jump in?
Well, right now, one of the things that we'd really love the community to help out with is at St. Augustine High School, we are the high school.
Yes.
We've been around for a while, which
all
is
we say.
Awesome. And we have this beautifully acoustically perfect auditorium, which a lot of people don't realize because it was built, the auditorium was actually built before there was amplified sound, which is awesome. However, when some of the upgrades went in about 25 years ago, if my numbers are correctly, 25 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Just imagine using a computer that's our light board. Our light board in the black box runs on MS-DOS. I'm not even kidding.
Goodness, no.
We have to boot up and it loads in MS-DOS. I'm not even kidding. I know. We definitely need some upgrades, and we've definitely had some great support.
We can do it.
After our last interview, I know that a lot of people reached out to the school board and it meant a difference. The ball is rolling. We just don't want the steam to die. So please, if you're interested in arts in our area, we really need some new sound equipment. We need some new lighting equipment in our auditorium because we want to prepare these individuals for the next step. And we can't do that, running a window with Windows 95 on a computer with Windows 95.
So I'm going to ask you a little controversial of a question, but has any of the technology, has it ever hindered any of your productions because you didn't have the latest and greatest?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll say during Newsies, we had a little bit, this is a funny story. I had a little bit of a mini panic attack because right before one of our shows, when our Applause Award judges were coming, one of our lights decided to not respond to the light board anymore.
Oh, of course.
And it was strobing, multicolored, and on on our rail that's in the house. So we need to get like a $2,000 lift to be able to even get in there to adjust that light.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't responding. So I went on a ladder with a broom. Nobody should ever do this. I kept telling the kids, don't do this, don't do this.
Yeah.
And put black gaffer's tape over the lens.
Oh,
and it was still rotating and flashing during the show. We just couldn't see it because the tape on the lens. So
wow.
this is the equipment we're working with right now.
So you didn't want to just like re-choreograph the moment and maybe just do like a pop and lock or something? Yeah.
We'll just do Once Upon a One More Time for the next show. There it is.
So let's segue into A Dream on Royal Street. Could you introduce, we have two fabulous actresses here today. I'm very excited to meet them.
Yes. So first we have Olivia Smith, and she is playing the role of Helena in The Dream on Royal Street. Yes. And we have Kate Warrell, and she is playing the role of Hermia in The Dream on Royal Street.
Oh, I love this. So do you remember your audition process?
Yes.
What made you want to try out for this show?
Just my passion and my love for musical theater.
Yeah.
You know, like this was you could choose if you wanted to like do the show and participate in the show. I'm like, there is no way I'm not gonna try out.
Yeah, right?
Like I love musical theater. I just resonate with it so much.
Yeah.
So just being able to experience and have more opportunities and like trying to continue this when I'm in college and stuff, I'm like, I have to go for it.
Yeah.
But the audition process, it was very fun. Like we did a dance call, then we had a real audition. And for the audition, I mean, it's not difficult. It's challenging, like finding pieces in music for a show you don't really know much about.
True, yeah.
But
do you audition with something from the actual show, or did you have something
you
else?
have to,
Okay.
Yeah, you have
what
to
did you
find
pick?
something.
Just curious.
I picked, you know what? I don't remember what I picked.
Well, apparently it worked.
This is the song. So I said, okay, locked in.
I love it. Kate, what about you?
I love a good comedy. Like those resonate with me a lot. I love Southern comedies.
Oh, I love that too.
It's my favorite to do a Southern accent.
Oh, I love it.
But
You need to be in Steel Magnolias.
Dream show.
Oh my God, I love it.
100%.
Shelby, drink the juice.
Please. But yeah, I mean, I love a good comedy, and I love some crazy, funny farces. So
Yeah.
I was like, and I love working with brilliant people and directors. So I was just like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And talking about that commitment and talking about what you guys have to, sacrifice between every production. Can you talk about some of the things that you really had to focus on for this role?
Honestly, I had to focus on the character development of Hermia. She's not all the time crazy.
Yeah.
Like a lot of roles that I've played before. So I needed to make sure that she has a full arc in her story.
Yeah.
So the crazy is funny and it's not just over the top.
Got it.
Yes.
What about you? How did you prepare?
I feel like I focused more, as well, character development, because I know Helena, she is a wild ride.
All right, give me a little backstory on this wild ride lady.
So, Helena, she's not a girl's girl. I want her to be so bad. She is not a girl's girl. And she just loves Demetrius. She loves Demetrius so much. And it's because she, I'm not going to get too far into the story. Come February 15th, 16th, and 17th.
I love it.
No, but she just wants to be with Demetrius so bad. And it's not because she is crazy for Demetrius, but it's not because, this is a boy and I love him. It's because she feels like Demetrius completes her. So there's no way she's letting go of this man.
Oh, I love this. So, Mr. Romeo, tell us a little bit, without revealing too much, about The Dream on Royal Street. And isn't it based on something that we're all familiar with?
It is. The Dream on Royal Street is actually a quote-unquote contemporary musical version of William Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Yes, I know. Me too. It's so funny.
Magical.
It's so funny.
Limelight just did it in the parking lot, I believe, a couple weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago.
Yes, they
It was
did.
a lot of fun. And it really works for an outdoor space.
It does.
What about this?
Well, this is not in an outdoor space.
Our theater needs updating, but this is actually inside.
It's actually inside. But what was really great about it is they set it in New Orleans during Mardi Gras.
Okay.
Hence the Mardi Gras Gras beads, hence the Mardi Gras beads.
Yay!
It's set in New Orleans during Mardi Gras. It was supposed to be set in the mid 70s, early 70s. We pushed it back a little bit and set it in the mid to late 60s.
Okay. Wow.
I just like the wardrobe better.
Yeah, I know.
It's so much more fun. But they've made it a little bit more contemporary, so it all takes place in the lobby of the Royal Street Hotel, and then in the Athenian gardens that they have out back.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, because now I can see how they're going to tie it in with the gardens and the outdoor scenes and stuff. Okay, This is cool. So talk about the production. Talk about how did you come up with the aesthetic?
Yeah, we're really excited about it. So it's a show that not a lot of people know, and I realized that as we worked on Children of Eden last year, if any of you saw that, we really enjoyed it. When we worked on Children of Eden last year, they didn't have a full cast recording for that show. They only had selections from. Well, I started to realize that the songs that there was a cast recording for, the kids knew 100% without a problem. When there wasn't a cast recording to listen to the song, they were having a more difficult time picking it up. So for this year, educationally, I wanted to pick a show where there was not a cast recording and not a YouTube video of a production where they were going to be able to watch it.
So you just got rid of the Cliff's Notes on
That's it. They are learning this show.
You are that professional.
Yes, I am. And so, of course, Midsummer we know, so there's a great source material to look at and see how this all comes together. But all of the music, we're all learning for the first time. Benjamin Beck, our music director, has done a great job laying down tracks and everything. And it has this really great, late 60s folk feel mixed with a little bit of that rock doo-wop.
Ooh, I like that.
Alan Menken wrote this at the same time while he was writing Little Shop of Horrors. So it feels a lot like Little Shop musically, but set to Midsummer Night's Dream.
Feed me, Seymour.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I remember. Yes. So you guys, how's rehearsals going?
It's going great, honestly.
How long is the rehearsal? Are you weeks out? How long have you been in this whole trenches of the show?
2 to 3 weeks so far.
Cool,
so we have a total of 4 weeks. But yeah, it's pretty much every single night except for Mondays. A week, and it only lasts 3 hours, but we get so much done, and it honestly is so productive and so much fun. The atmosphere is amazing. So
I agree.
How is rehearsals for you?
It's the same thing. I love it. Just the atmosphere, just rehearsing and being with my friends, as well as learning stuff in the future, because I know we only get to do this in 4 weeks. So being able to put all of this together in 4 weeks and being prepared, because on Broadway, I'm pretty sure they don't take 3-4 months to do a show. So we're conditioning to see what it's like and learning lines faster and music. So it's really fun.
Is that hard to learn lines, especially a big script? What do you have any techniques?
I wouldn't say it's hard. I would say it's challenging, but I love a challenge.
Yeah.
So,
Helen Mirren actually fills her bathtub up with hot water, and she'll sit there with her script, and she doesn't care if the water gets super cold. She can't get out of the tub until she's done learning her line. It's
That's
that
insane.
intense. How do you guys get involved with learning your lines? Do you have any special techniques?
Honestly, my amazing brother, after rehearsal, I make him come into my room, and he knows the show front to back.
I love that.
He knew I was in Boeing not too long ago, and he knew the whole show and was mouthing the words in the English.
Oh, I love that. He's your stage mom, but no.
Yes, exactly. But he's so sweet about it, and he's willing to do it. So
fabulous.
Yeah.
That's good. Are your scripts curled up with notes everywhere written and
absolutely.
Stuff? How is Mr. Romeo as a director? Is he more of an organic approach? You guys kind of come up with some of your character development, or is there already a structured I want you to move stage left? What does that look like?
I feel he doesn't like giving us reads because he wants us to find things on our own. So that definitely helps us. But yeah, he's more of a organic.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you agree with that, Kate?
Yes, I think that in this production, because it's such a big farce, some things just have to be staged down to the last thing, for our safety. But everything else, we're just very, okay, if you feel like you want to move here, then move here. Why didn't you move? It's that type of thing that's very empowering at the end of the day.
Well, and one of the things I'd like to say real quick is I'm not the only director on this production.
Okay.
It is co-directed with a junior by the name of Logan Everson. If you saw the Newsies interview,
Logan.
he was one of our Jack Kellys. We love him.
I just had his mom on the show. We were talking about Habitat. Yeah.
Well, we love her. We love Habitat. One of the things that we started and we're trying to do is, again, create more opportunities for our students. So we're actually starting a directing pathway
Nice.
at SJCCA, and Logan's kind of our guinea pig.
I love
So
this.
he is actually in my first year musical theater class, not as a first year musical theater student because he's well past that,
Yeah.
as a directing student. So whenever we're workshopping things, he's also giving notes. He's seeing how that works, and he's going to be fully directing our first year musical this year. Well, he directed a one-act with Miss T, 39 Steps, as part of this directing pathway, and now he's co-directing the musical with me. So all of the, in the originals, what's called the mechanicals, but they're the bellhops here, you know, flute and bottom and quints
God
and all
bless
them.
them. Oh.
All of that work is...
All my friends.
all your friends is entirely Logan. That is all of his work.
Cool.
And then, I mean, a little feedback from me. And then just like when I've been working with the Lovers, it's mostly me with a little feedback of him. And we've really worked together on that. And we have a student choreographer named Landon Cole this time. So all the choreography is choreographed by a student.
Wow, how do you make sure that you don't step on their toes artistically?
I try really hard.
Yeah,
I keep telling myself, I told Logan whatever
I'd be
he
a
wants,
mess.
he's gonna
I
get.
don't know how you do it.
It's been difficult. I trust Logan a lot, and
Yeah.
I think having him in class and teaching him, you know, the basics. I mean, he knows a lot of those basics, but like how you do things from the educational side and the technical side. A lot of us as directors, we go things by feel, but there is a science behind it. So being able to help him learn that and then be able to have him do something, go, hey, remember when we talked about, and he goes, oh, that's right, maybe we should try this instead. But they would know better if we've been handling it pretty well. But I feel like it's been a pretty true collaboration.
Yeah, how do you guys
has, it
like the
has.
collaboration? Do you guys like that?
I love it. It's like I have two different views. Like one saying like, oh, this is good, and the other one like, oh, this is good, and they collaborate, and it's just all a fun experience. Like, and it gives us like something, because in the future we're gonna have different viewpoints and stuff. We're not gonna have the same
True.
director
Yeah,
every
but we gotta meet
show.
where each other where we
so
are, yeah.
it's good having a different viewpoint, like in the long run. So, I feel like it's
Kate,
really
do you
fun.
feel like you have to be a triple threat in this program? Do you have to sing? Do you have to? Because I can't dance for nothing.
I
like,
can't
oh my
dance for
God,
nothing
whoa.
either. It's
I'm like
okay.
hot step. That's about all you're gonna get out of me. Yeah.
Yes, I have 2
I'm
left
singing
feet.
flat and off key, but I can act like anything. I got you.
Yeah, I honestly no. I think that like dancing is not my strong suit. I love ballet. Ballet I like doing.
Nice.
But like tap, you can ask him.
Right.
Tap Tuesdays were not my thing. But I think it's so inclusive though, because we are able to become those triple threats
Yeah.
at the end of our senior years. I mean, that's when we really expect ourselves to be like that.
Yes.
As of right now, I expect myself to do the best that I can do. So
Yeah.
that's
That's going to be amazing. And look, and every year is going to get better and
Yes,
better and
yes.
better because you're going to
Yes.
believe in yourself every single time. That's awesome.
yes, thank you.
Very, very cool. So what else? What else about the Dream on Royal Street that everyone can look forward to?
I think it's just a really fun time. You know, like we chose this weekend for the show because it's the weekend right after Fat Tuesday. So we wanted it to have that Mardi Gras feel
love
to
that.
it.
Yeah.
So it should feel a little bit like a party with everybody coming in. There's going to be some audience interaction, which is always a lot
Ooh,
of fun.
that's interesting.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. The cast will be in with the audience a little bit. It will be a good time.
Oh, I like that.
And you know, it is based on Shakespeare. And if you know Midsummer, you know that there's a whole bit involving a donkey, and that's all that I'm going to say. And there are certain words that we use for a donkey
Of course.
in older language that is used a lot. So as far as language goes, that's really the only issue there.
Okay.
So if you're comfortable with that at home, it's completely available for everybody because we're talking about donkeys. And you know, it does involve some mistaken identity when it comes to the lovers. So, you know, I said there are some romantic situations. So it's rated PG, but it's like Shrek family humor.
I like
is the way
that.
I like to say.
I came across a review of The Dream on Royal Street, and the words and lyrics are very true to the original story, and the score is the best. They are excellent, hilarious songs that work so well for middle schoolers and high schoolers alike. So many great roles for lots of kids and students. This is very accessible and creative modernization of A Midsummer Night's Dream. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with it.
Okay.
I would agree with it. The script is very, very funny. It is a farce, so it's ridiculous. Like there's no other way to word it. It's ridiculous. But if the original Midsummer is directed well, it's also ridiculous and over the top.
But
and
there's
funny,
sort of like there's like a quarrel with lovers. Am I saying that right?
Yes,
Like,
there are.
Okay. So she has to make a decision of like which lover, or she's being
well, there
pushed in
might
one
be
direction?
some magic involved.
Oh, I love
There might be some magic involved.
Oh, I love magic.
You know, and the King and Queen of the Fairies, which is Oberon and Titania, are in the original.
Yeah.
In our production, they are rock stars coming in from Las Vegas to perform for Mardi Gras.
So cool.
Yeah, so there might be a little magic spell that takes place. So some people who loved some people end up loving somebody else, and it causes a whole array of hilarity which ensues.
So tell me about, like, if there's someone out there that has a student that's interested in being a part of all of this amazing spectacle that you guys bring time after time. What is there like a time period that they could audition?
There is our auditions. The applications for St. Johns County School District closed on January 31st.
Oh, wow.
So incoming 8th graders had to apply by that time.
Okay.
To be able to be a part of SJCCA. And they had to come to our auditions, which, you know, it's a lot. You know, you got to come and you got to show us that you're at the level that you need to be at to enter the program.
Right.
However, what I will say is if your student is already zoned for St. Augustine High School, shoot me an email. Go to www.sjcca.org. Reach out to me. If your student is already zoned and we don't have to get approval from the district, we are still working on scheduling, and we can set up some virtual auditions or some late auditions if you're interested in joining us. However, if you are out of zone for St. Augustine High School and you are a rising freshman, you still get one more year. As long as you're a rising sophomore, you can come audition for us next year.
So once you're in, you're in. So like Kate doesn't have to do it. Okay, Kate, we might not audition.
Yeah, so it is a pre-professional program.
Cool.
So if it looks like the student isn't succeeding at the level where we feel like they need to be successful, we have a conversation with that student and discuss that maybe the program may not be the best choice for them because we want them to succeed. We don't want them to get poor grades. We don't want them to feel bad about themselves.
Yeah.
Or get lost. And there are plenty of other pathways then once you're already there to maybe audition for. Maybe somebody comes in for musical theater as a freshman and they love it and they think it's great, and then they're really being held up on the dance. And they go, actually, I'd rather be in theater and chorus and not be in musical theater anymore. We work with them to be able to
So that makes sense. That's a good transition. We had Amy Angelilli on, and she has Third Space Improv. Are there improv groups like that? Is that like a good training technique that students could jump into?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Improv is fantastic. It lets you think on your feet.
Yeah.
For example, at auditions, I'm surprised when you both talked about auditions, you didn't talk about my favorite part of auditions.
Oh, what is it?
Where there's a monologue in A Midsummer Night's Dream that they've turned into a song in the show.
Oh, yeah?
About like, if I am your, I'll be your spaniel, you can beat me, spurn me, blah, 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 blah.
I love it.
So there's a whole song called Treat Me Like a Dog. So all of the girls auditioning had to crawl around on all fours and bark and whimper and whine.
And I had the best bars.
Tell me, which dog were you imagining you were at that moment?
I gave myself like just a little chihuahua.
Like a little teacup
'cause they're
chihuahua,
just-
yeah.
They're so tiny, but they have that bark.
They're mighty,
Oh,
yes. Tiny but mighty. Kate?
I did not get called back. God bless you. So I was good not doing that part of the audition process.
You were busy drinking your juice,
I know,
chill. Oh, so much fun. What talk about your costumes, guys. Like, do you love it? Because sometimes I've been in shows in which they put like a burlap bag on me with no silhouette. I mean, are you loving what you're wearing?
I love my costume. Miss Cattatelli,
Yeah.
best costume around here.
Love it.
Yes, because I know we have togas, so we're gonna be wearing togas throughout the show.
Cool.
So yeah, I love my costume.
It's all about the drape. I love that. Yeah. What about you?
I have like this Jackie O
Really?
very JFK assassination
Amazing.
sort of like suit.
Of
I
course,
guess.
like very Chanel. Very nice.
Yes.
There we
Chanel,
go.
yes. So it's very cute and fashionable. I love it.
Oh, that is so great. This is so cool that you brought this to the 60s. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I moved it back a little bit because much like Little Shop, it has that kind of a more 60s doo-wop feel to it musically, and a little bit of folk. So I felt like it just kind of fit better in the 60s. When it was written, it was meant to be a contemporary retelling, but that was in the mid to late 70s. That's not contemporary anymore. So I really tried to convert it into a period piece.
Okay.
Because if we tried to make it contemporary now, the music would just feel a little dated. So we've really gone headstrong in, and we're making it. We're setting it around 1965. So what we're doing is there's still that more conservative Jackie O style 60s, but we're also moving into the hippie culture, the hippie era, go-go boots. So those rock stars are going to be a little bit more hippie, whereas everyone else is going to be a little bit more of that mid 60s feel.
Love it.
And Sandra, Miss Sandra, our costume designer, is from England.
Oh, I love it.
So the 60s out there were very different than the 60s here. So it's a really wonderful blend of all of the different styles of 60s, because whenever you're meeting at Mardi Gras, you're going to have people from all different walks of life.
Yeah.
So we have all those different styles represented.
So do you only work on one project at a time, or can you work at multiple? Like, are you already thinking about the next show?
Already thinking about the next. We have a review April 4th and 5th called The Magic of Mencken. We're already starting to roll that out and figure out what that's going to be. Miss T has already started. She's already pulled costumes. Her set's half done. She's ready to go for a production of Peter and the Starcatcher, which, if you don't know Peter and the Starcatcher, Tony Award winning play, if I'm not mistaken. It won the Tony that year. And it's similar to a prequel story. It's like what Wicked is to musical theater is what to Wizard of Oz is what Peter and the Starcatcher is to Peter Pan. So it's kind of like that prequel story about how it all came about. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic production. I can't wait to see it. And it's April 18th, I believe, is her production that weekend in there.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, lots of things coming up on the pipeline.
So can you tell me what musical inspires you to be this great actress?
The Wiz.
Oh, I love The Wiz.
It's my favorite musical.
He's on down the road. Yes.
I played Dorothy a while back,
So
and I'm
cool.
like, I have to play this role again.
Yeah. Don't you love it when you find one? This is like, I am meant for this role.
Absolutely.
Yes. What about you, Kate?
I love Phantom of the Opera. That is like that is what I would want to do for the rest of my life.
Really?
Yeah. And Sound of Music. Sound of Music.
Sound of Music, The Hills Are Alive. Yes.
The Hills Are Alive. Yes.
So let's play a quick little game if you don't mind.
Ooh.
I'm going to pull up some musicals, and you're going to tell me, take it or leave it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Well, we got to pay homage to the great Cheetah Rivera. So West Side Story, take it or leave it?
Take.
Take
it.
it.
Take it. Yeah. When you're a jet, you're a jet all the way. Cabaret.
Take.
Oh,
That's a take for me.
Take
to
it.
the heavens.
This
honey.
new
Yes.
revival looks so good coming to
So
Broadway.
good. Oh, My Fair Lady.
Take it. Sorry. Okay, Kaitlyn.
I'll take the revival the way they reworked the end.
Okay.
I'll take the revival the way they reworked it.
I'm gonna leave it. I'm over it. Yeah. What about Grease?
Take.
I should say Grease. Lift it up
Take
there.
it. That's
Leave
my
it.
childhood show.
Is it really?
I'm a little bit of a leave it with Grease. The movie is great. The stage version is very, very different, and people usually get really disappointed when they see the stage version because it's not what they're used to. So
Yeah. Chicago.
take it.
Oh my
it.
gosh,
Take
take it all the way.
it.
Let me see. Hamilton. Did you see it? Did you not love it?
I mean, I don't love it, but I
didn't
like
love
it.
it either. And I felt
Yeah.
like so out of place because everybody was like raving about it.
Yes, and it was
I love
too
I love
much.
music, and it just didn't land for me.
No.
Yes.
I was in the city when In the Heights came out, so I feel like there was so much buzz behind In the Heights and Lin-Manuel Miranda and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
of
yeah.
that. Then when I saw Hamilton, I was like, In the Heights 2.0 set to history. So
Right.
it didn't have necessarily the giant buzz for me that In the Heights had, so it's a little bit of a leave it for
We'll
me.
leave it in the box.
Yeah, we'll leave it in the box. Yeah,
We can
look
pull
at
it out every
from time to
once in a
time.
while.
Every now and then.
Moment.
Give it a little look.
How about Rent?
Take
it.
all the way.
Take it all day.
One of my
I love
all-time
it.
Take it all day.
favorites.
Absolutely.
Oh, gosh,
All the way.
I would love to see that again. It was so amazing. That was one of my favorite shows of all time. Wicked.
Take it.
Take it.
You
Take
guys are
it.
taking a lot. Les Mis.
Take it.
Really?
It's my favorite
It is
show.
a beautiful show. It's a beautiful show. I'll definitely give that to you. And our last one, Fiddler on the Roof. Leave it.
Leave it.
I love you, Blake.
Leave it.
Leave it.
Leave it.
Leave it.
Matchmaker, match nothing. Apparently not. Oh, that's fun. So cool. So what else do people have to look forward to with all that's going on? I mean, you've got what you said. You have another one coming up. Another show coming up the 19th of April. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, that's Peter and the Starcatcher.
Got it.
We're doing a review of all Alan Menken music. And if you don't know Alan Menken, I think I said this earlier, he's the composer. He's written Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Enchanted, A Bronx Tale, Sister Act the Musical. He's written so much music. So we're going to celebrate a bunch of the music that you haven't gotten to hear this year through the rest of our shows.
Okay.
And then our first year musical is Descendants, which is going to be in May.
Okay.
So keep an eye out
That's
for
what I was
that.
tripping up on.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's in May.
And that's our first year musical theater class that's going to be in it. And then our rising seniors, because at that point when the show comes out, our seniors' last day has already happened. So our seniors won't be there anymore.
Oh, wow.
So it's the juniors taking ownership of the program, and they will be directing, choreographing, producing, music directing, the whole kit. It's completely student done. I'm just the guy with the credit card.
I like that. Yeah, swipe twice. Tell them you have till 2 payments, right? Yes. That is so good. Talk to me about, let me see. various themes that you look for in shows, and various themes that you look for with auditioning too.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, when I really I like themed seasons.
Okay.
Like last year, everything was based on a book. So we did like Once Upon a Mattress, and we did Children of Eden, and we did Frozen Junior, because it's based on the Snow Queen. So I try to choose themes. This year, it really was about Alan Menken celebrating his music and making it feel like anybody could come see any of the shows this year. That was the way that I went about it. Next year, I have some other ideas that I'm thinking about, but we'll see how that all lands out. I'm not ready to divulge.
How do you do that? Do you have like a committee that you talk to about it, or you're like,
I look at where they are educationally. So the reason why I decided to do the Alan Menken year this year was because of the Dream on Royal Street. This was the first show that I actually chose for the season this year, because I wanted to choose a show where the students had to learn from scratch. And there aren't very many shows that don't have some kind of a cast recording or a demo recording or something that they're going to be able to listen along to. So I really wanted to choose something that they were going to have to learn from the ground up. And then from there, I was like, well, Alan Menken wrote it. Why don't I do Alan Menken show? So I usually hone in on a show that educationally I feel like the students need to grow as an artist. And then from there, I build the rest of it around.
I love that. So, ladies, talk about your career in acting and where do you see yourself? I mean, you name it and claim it moment. Do you see yourself in New York, or are you going to be in LA? Are you going to be in Chicago? What kind of theaters are you looking into? Like, what moves you? What inspires you?
You know, I just see myself on a stage. Like, when I think about 10 years from now, on stage, 15, on stage, 5, on stage, like, my passion is musical theater, singing, dancing, acting. So anything.
Have you always had this passion?
Always.
Oh, I love this.
Like, I started little by little. When I was 2 to 3 to 5, I started dancing, and then I'm like, okay, I like dancing. And then I joined like choir in like elementary. Then I had my first show, the bandstand, and I played Darlene. So I was like, I really.
Do you remember
love
the
this.
first live show you ever saw?
Oh, it was Cinderella.
Was it really?
With Kiki Palmer, yes.
Oh, God bless Kiki Palmer. You just dropped that. That is amazing. Oh, yes. What a special show. And then from there, would that just ignite a fire?
I was like, wow, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Kate, what about you?
I honestly see myself like doing revivals or tours. I'm a very golden age
I love this classic.
styled.
Yeah.
I like those classic stories. They're timeless. So
Yeah.
I just see myself hopefully revivals in New York or something.
So when you see like modernizations of things, like Romeo and Juliet, for example, remember there was that Leonardo DiCaprio movie, right?
Yes.
And that was like a whole different spin on the whole story, that the traditional story. How do you feel as an artist? Do you like that angle, or do you like more definitely classic?
I like that angle. I think that the original is always the best, in my opinion. Like with movies, the same way. Like I just think that, like no matter, even if there is a revival of something, it will never be how that original production was done. And I think that's the amazing part of theater, of course.
That's the magic, right? Yeah. So, director buzz. Do you ever think that you'd be in the director's seat, either one of you?
I feel like I have dreams about. I have dreams at night. I'm like,
you guys have been
what
around
if I
that.
direct
You
this
know what you're
show?
doing. So just curious if you would ever do like maybe a smaller production, just to see if, because your leadership skills are amazing. Like you definitely would be able to an entire ensemble. I could see this like doing some great things. What about you, Kate?
I was the associate director for Newsies with Mr. Romeo.
Oh,
so
fabulous.
I got to see like the whole process, and I love working with someone who definitely knows what they're doing. I don't think that I have like that whole creative mind to build a show from the ground up.
Oh, but it's coming. Yeah, you'll have that.
Maybe.
Yeah,
But
it's going to be amazing.
I liked being behind the scenes, and now, being on stage again, I understand the whole mental process that our directors go through. So I understand how to execute things a lot better and faster. So it helps me a lot, honestly.
So, Mr. Romeo, can you talk about the production of it, like the actual set design? What happens there?
Yeah, so I've really tried to work with our musical theater tech students to start taking more of a leading role in that way. So our set designer is actually Charlotte Venny. She is our set designer for the show. I told her I need a platform, I need walls. It's a farce. So it needs to have walls and doors and entrances and exits. But when we go into the garden, I really wanted it to have like a magical effect. So it has like, I think it's something surprising. I won't say what it is because I want people to come see it.
Yeah,
but
sure.
There's like a moment of wow, I will say, that I think is really cool. As we transition out to the garden, and I said, that's what I want, you go from there. And she has been looking up vintage wallpaper. She's been looking up vintage fabrics. She's been making sure paint colors, the way that it needs to look. She is building, we're going to have a set piece that is like one of those big circle lobby couches on one side, but on the other side, when we transition into the garden, is going to be a fountain.
Oh, wow.
And so she is building that from scratch. She is doing the whole kit and caboodle.
Really?
Yeah. And the fountain's going to work.
Wow.
Yeah, don't quote me. I mean, it's working as of now, so hopefully it'll still be working when you see the show. Because
Yes.
Charlotte's doing a great job. But like, she's really taken ownership of that, which is wonderful. Emily Walzak is our lighting designer.
Okay.
She was our lighting designer for Newsies as well, but I definitely had more of I inserted myself in that a little bit more. I had to teach her how to program the lights, how to program the board. This time I said, guess what? You're going, go do it. And she's like almost all the way through Act 1 now, and she's done the whole thing herself.
So talk about the importance of lighting design, because some people are like, just flick the lights on and you just have the regular lights.
No, lighting design is extremely important. I mean, it's going to set the mood of the entire show, which is why, when you have 25-year-old DJ lights hanging on your ceiling, it can be difficult at times.
Right, yes. With some gaff tape.
With some gaff tape to make sure they don't strobe. But our kids are doing a really great job. And it is a challenge for them to look through and when we have all of the top of line equipment, which hopefully we will soon, that's really exciting. We get to do so many more things with that, which is awesome. But then sometimes when you don't have, you have to think outside the box a little bit and be creative. But so even with my staging, I've gotten to the point now where I've staged enough shows where I know where the dark spots are on the stage. Yeah. So I can't have a student stand in the dark spot on the stage. So I stage it to make sure they're not there.
Mariah Carey teaches us all to find our light. I love it.
Yes.
Talk about your seniors. Talk about how proud you are, because I'd love to hear about their journey. And is it hard for you to like let the butterflies go out into the wild of theater?
It is not hard for me to let the butterflies go because I know that they're going on to bigger and brighter things. And I know that pretty soon I'm just going to get to turn on my TV or go to New York and see them in a show. So I know that their careers are going to be long and prosperous. We've been doing a lot of really great things. That's one of the things when I came in with the musical theater program is I've separated the seniors into their own class. So we actually get to spend the time to work on their senior pre-screen videos in class, which a lot of people don't realize, but when you're auditioning for a BFA program in either acting or musical theater and dance, you need to record videos of yourself and send them to the school to see if you are allowed to audition.
Wow.
You don't get to audition unless they think you're good enough based on a video.
Wow.
So we spend almost the entire first quarter working on just those videos for those kids, and they submit. Then when they come back and they get these offers from schools that they want to be seen, that is when the real work begins, because now you're going in front of people and you have to make it through the dance call, make it through the acting call, make it through the vocal call, then do another audition. It builds and it builds from there, yeah.
So taking a student like Kate over here, who's really into the classic look of theater, would you suggest that she opens up her gamut to have some contemporary pieces on her film?
Absolutely, I make her. I make her. Like, she has this gorgeous lyrical soprano, but girl can belt her face off too. So let's be honest. Absolutely, I think it's important to know where our strong. I think it's important to know where our strong points are. But we need to be well rounded. I'm a big believer in making sure that the students get to be themselves. There's a really disgusting thing in theater that unfortunately still exists that I hate, that's called typing.
Oh, yeah.
Where if you don't look a certain way or you don't sound a certain way, you can't be considered for a certain role. And I'm working really hard to kind of push against that a little bit. And so, yeah, like, Kate has a gorgeous soprano voice, and she would make a fantastic Christine one day. She really, really would. But she also has a phenomenal belt, and there's lots of other things that she can do. But when we're looking at colleges, right, in a couple of years, which is way closer than you think, there are certain programs that have more classical musical theater training and are looking for a more classical artist. Okay. So those are the schools that I would recommend her to apply to, not NYU, not Hessian, not even some of the Penn States and Boston conservatories. They're a little bit more geared towards new works and contemporary music, whereas you're looking at some of the programs like Florida State, UCF, Oklahoma State, Ithaca. Some of those bigger programs are actually looking at a more classic style and are looking for that.
So how do you do that? Is it you consult with each? How many seniors do you have?
8.
Oh, okay,
right
good.
now.
So that you can at least tailor something.
Yeah, but next year we're going to have a lot more.
coming.
Those kids were accepted as freshmen during COVID year.
Oh, wow.
So this senior class came in as freshmen they had to audition virtually at home when we were all sent home for COVID. So it's next year we're going to have a lot more seniors. But yeah, that's why it's their own class. So I really get to devote that individual time to them. And they all work on packages and we get to record them with each other and for each other. And they give each other feedback. Because by that point, they've been in the program for a while. Even you guys, we're sitting in our vocal studio right now working on the power triangle.
Yes.
I say, how did you feel about that to the person performing? Then I open it up for them to give feedback before I give my own. Because it's really important for them to understand why something works or why it doesn't. And they're not going to do that until they watch it either succeed or not be as successful in another student.
So Olivia, you seem super confident like on this role. Like how do you get yourself to that level? Just keep practicing over and over and
Yes, like once you practice something over and over, you just get, it's like mental. It's mental. Like if I do something over and over again, of course, that's that. Like I know how to get to that point. I think it's mostly because when I was younger, like I just sat with my mom most of the time and I'm like, okay, this is how I learn lines. Mommy, can you read my lines for me? So if I get a word wrong, start over, do it again. You have to like just get it right. Just conditioning
verbatim,
yourself.
Right. Yeah. And that's and once you get the cadence of that and you understand, you can pull that in professionally. That's amazing. Tell us, Kate, tell us what you look forward to for the rest of the season.
Honestly, just having a great time. I just love doing this stuff around like amazing people, and the fact that it's never the same every single day, like no matter how hard we practice. And I mean, my mom always says practice makes permanent.
Oh, I love that.
Right, it's never perfect.
No.
And I've always had to remind myself of that.
Yeah.
So,
don't let perfection be the enemy of good. I mean, honestly, because we all always are focused on being perfect all the time. I mean, I don't know if you saw the movie Black Swan, but she was like so focused on being perfect. And it really ate away at her. And that's what I would be afraid of for a student, just because you are always growing, you're always evolving, and you're always going to, transition to something even bigger and better with all these different roles that you're looking at. I am so excited for the both of you. You're incredible. I mean, your light is just, and your aura, I get chills talking to you guys. So fun. So congratulations.
This is a
very exciting show. Mr. Romeo, tell everybody about how they can get tickets.
Absolutely. So originally tickets were going to go on sale tomorrow, but because of all of you watching, I decided tickets went on sale live at 5 p.m. Live at 5. Love it. You can go to www.sjcca.org, and right on the front page, you're going to see a link with our poster and our logo, and you're going to click on it, and it's going to take you to Show Tix for You, and that's where you're going to be able to purchase tickets. Normally, we do 4 to 5 shows, but because this is a smaller show and it's not as well known, I want to pack the house.
Yeah.
So we're only doing 3 shows.
Okay.
Thursday night, February 15th at 7, Friday night, February 16th at 7, and Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m.
Cool.
On the 17th. So
Awesome. Yeah. This is amazing. Thank you all for coming to studio today and talking about this incredible program that we're going to support as a community. We're getting you a fancy theater, whether I like it or not.
Please.
I'm getting this done.
Please. And I just want to, while I'm here, I just want to make
Please,
sure I thank the St. Augustine High School administration as
Absolutely.
well. Our new principal, Mr. Travis Brown, he was at Marine Middle School.
Amazing human being. Yes,
amazing
I know him very
human
well.
being. We love him. And I'm sure they're really sad that they're gone, but we're really happy that we have him. He's a huge supporter of the arts. He's a huge supporter of everything that we do at SJCCA. And
Cool.
I'm just really glad that we have him. So I always like to bring that up about how supportive he is.
Absolutely. So cool. And supportive of this community, too. We're going to rally and always keep me posted on all of your adventures.
Absolutely.
This is so exciting. Break a leg.
Thank you.
You're going to be
Thank you.
fabulous. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for tuning in tonight. This was an exceptional interview. I just love having some great people in studio. This is inspiration right here in the 904. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. Mike and Amanda will be back tomorrow. Hopefully, prayers up for Amanda. I know she lost her voice. She sounds like a lounge singer, but she'll be all right. But yes, and I'll be, of course, bright and early with Pete and Troy in the morning. I love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Share the show, boo. Bye, everybody.